Buonasera ragazzi, ben arrivati su Il Calice Nero. Buonasera Adimer.
Buonasera maestro.
Oggi abbiamo una band molto importante perché andiamo su sonita sludge, doom, stoner, no lounge, metal, una band degli Stati Uniti. Dici il nome, dici colui che abbiamo oggi in veste di intervistato. Prego Adimer.
Sì, allora, oggi abbiamo uno dei membri fondatori di questo gruppo.
Yes.
Parliamo di Mule Boy dei Bongzilla e credo che non serva altra introduzione per il personaggio e per il gruppo.
Chiamiamolo. Hey, Boy.
Hey, how y'all
Hi.
doing?
Doing great. It's a real pleasure to have you here this evening. Yeah, it's a real honor to spend some time with you and hopefully vice versa. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Allora,
I think I'm
okay.
high enough.
Sorry?
I said I think I'm high enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a great starting point, I guess. So
oggi ci divertiamo. Oggi ci divertiamo alla grande, ragazzi. Mule Boy, se ti danno una tela, ti danno due colori in mano, il viola, il giallo, come riusciresti a trascrivere la musica dei Bogzilla, quella di mezzo, nel senso, quella né dall'inizio né dalla fine, una via di mezzo.
okay, so let's picture you having a canvas in front of you, a camera in front of you, and you have two colors, yellow and purple, and you need to paint on this canvas, basically visualizing the music that's in Bongzilla, but not in the early days or nowadays or the latest years, but the one that has been in the middle. So since you started in the mid 90s, I can say like mid 2000, early 2010s. So how do you see that?
I would literally paint a purple bud of marijuana.
Okay, okay, and you're going to picture just that big.
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, Bongzilla is marijuana. You know, to me, like, it's true. All we're really doing is painting a picture of how we live, especially me.
Okay.
I mean, my whole life has been revolved since I was probably 18, has revolved around this beautiful plant. If it's growing or dealing or smoking, and it's also not unlike music. It's one of the most quickest ways to bond with a person is to get high with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can see that.
Yeah.
So basically,
I would probably paint a marijuana bud with the word high in purple underneath it. HIGH.
Okay. And so to you, it's not just like getting stoned per se, but it's revolving around everything that's based on the plant.
Yeah, I mean, our songs are stories from our lives in a way, but I've talked about everything from just growing to growing and people stealing from you, to my friend pointing out that I like to pack 3 bowls every time I smoke. That's what Tri-Pack Master is from. Like a lot of lyrics. And I mean, Bongzilla it's my 2 favorite things, really heavy riffs and pot. And weirdly, I've never felt like I've ever written a song. I feel like I channel. I get so high, I channel. So in the early days when it was harder to get pot in the U.S., we probably played 1, 2, maybe 5 shows total not high, but I've canceled practice because I didn't have pot. I usually always have pot, but for whatever happened, I remember when Kudo joined the band years ago, they were picking me up at my friend's tattoo shop, and I walked to the van and I go, "Do any of you guys have pot?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "All right, well, we're not practicing." And Kudo was like, "What?" He was our brand new bass player. He's like, "What?"
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'm like, well, there's no fucking way I'm practicing. If I'm not high, what's the point?
Yeah, especially when you're doing something like this, and you need to get into the mood.
I mean, it literally, the couple times that it did happen, it sounds different. It doesn't feel right, or maybe we do other drugs, drink too much instead of smoking all night because we didn't have as much pot. Those shows aren't, to me, two Bongzilla is us three now, super high, just
okay,
being not just overtaken by the drug, but one of the reasons we play so loud is we're overtaken, almost like when a drug hits you, like a big bong hits you pretty hard. Hopefully like a Bongzilla song hits you.
Yeah, it does. Really, from my point of view, I mean, at least on recording, we were talking prior that I hadn't have a chance to see you live again yet, but even just the recordings are good and pristine in terms of at least sludge and stoner and what concerns the genre, because people may not enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, we do, like, recording wise, we do everything old school, tape. It still goes to digital because it has to, but we mastered the last two records to tape, or not mastered it to tape, mixed it to tape, and then they dropped it in a computer.
Okay, so
you record on 2-inch tape, then you mix it down to 1/2-inch tape, and then they drop that into a computer.
Yeah, so the AAD kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it'd be AAA on a record. So the records are actually, I'm not. Well, no, it's AAD because I don't think they mastered from the tape. They mastered from a computer recording.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the worst way to listen to music is MP3s,
Yeah, so it has to get digital.
Like ours, you lose so much.
Yeah, so vinyl and tapes, if they're
vinyl and 8 tracks, minus the skipping, but 8 tracks because it was multiple heads was a really good format for music, and they're actually kind of coming back. There's a company.
Never got a chance to listen to 8 tracks, so I'm wondering how it's going to be somewhere. Yeah, definitely too young. I mean, I was worried in between, like, the vinyl disappearing and the tape disappearing.
Oh yeah, no. Now CDs have semi-disappeared, right?
Yeah, and vinyls are coming back, and tapes are somehow. So
yeah, no, tapes are back huge. I mean, tapes sound. Yeah, tapes are cool. Vinyl, what I had missed. I mean, a CD. I grew up taking a vinyl record and staring at the artwork. Like, you listen to Bloody Sabbath, and you stare at that incredible artwork, right? Or House of the Holy, or I mean, so like CDs, I was like, oh man, it's such a little book. I want a big piece of art,
Yeah. Like a painting, as we were saying in the beginning.
Yeah, it came back around. I knew it would.
I'm full circle, one way or another.
No, that's stoner tangent.
Okay, well, I will be now translating what we have said until now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I will remember everything. I will try my best, anyways. So.
Yeah. Good luck. I'm going to take a hit.
Ok, sure. Enjoy. Allora, praticamente ha detto che quello che mostrerebbe su quel dipinto sarebbe molto semplicemente una pepita, capisci a me? con la parola high sotto in viola, quindi la parola fatto. Quindi diciamo che è molto parla da sé come cosa, e ha detto che questo sarebbe quello che lui vedrebbe sulla tela, per un semplice motivo che riguarda quello che è Bongzilla, perché nonostante appunto siano, come lui stesso dice, dei fattoni nel senso buono del termine, quello che vanno a raccontare e quello che vivono loro stessi come membri, non è semplice: "Ah, vado a fumare, mi faccio la botta e basta." Non è fine a se stesso, ma c'è tutto, uhm, dalla pianta in sé, quindi, dalla crescita, alla, cultura, uhm, tutto quello che riguarda appunto la pianta come pianta. E le loro esperienze di vita, quindi proprio il crescere, con questa pianta, perché comunque lui diceva che è da quando ha 18 anni che effettivamente dedica la sua vita alla pianta. Come si dice? You good?
That was a good one.
That's awesome. Oltre a questo, anche proprio il fatto che magari gente, vada ad esser rapinata per riuscire poi a vendere, per comprarsi un po' di erba, e chi più ne ha più ne metta. Poi anche, proprio episodi veri e propri che loro hanno vissuto, quindi non solo racconti vari. Ehm, la questione è che appunto dedicano talmente tanto la loro vita a questa pianta, come possiamo notare in questo momento, che, sono arrivati al punto di addirittura, non dico per forza di cose cancellare concerti, ma quasi, perché non avevano erba in quel momento. Però sicuramente sono arrivati a cancellare prove, perché mancava. Tant'è che ha detto una delle prime prove che han fatto con un bassista che hanno avuto, si è trovato in sala prove, ha chiesto se qualcuno ne avesse un po', e siccome nessuno ce l'aveva ha detto: "Okay ragazzi, niente prove." Ehm, la cosa ancora più divertente è che dice: "Sì, possiamo bere, possiamo comunque fare quello che facciamo noi, anche il suonare a volume estremamente alto." Ehm, l'unica differenza è che da, fammi passare il termine, sobrio, non suona giusto per loro. Quindi comunque il risultato non è quello che magari sperano di ottenere, e anche il fatto che loro, suonino con volumi estremamente alti, cercano di sovrastare quel sentore che loro hanno di fattanza, chiamiamola così. E cos'altro? Sì, ci siam messi un attimo a parlare anche delle registrazioni, che appunto io non ho mai avuto occasione di vederli, anche se hanno suonato, l'estate questa qua
Mh.
passata vicino a casa mia al Venezia Hardcore, ma, le registrazioni, anche quelle suonano uniche, sono perfette. E lui ha spiegato un attimo anche qual è il processo dietro quello. E sto facendo tutto questo volo pindarico perché poi si ricollega a quello che era il discorso iniziale. È successo che, mhmm, dicesse appunto anche solo le registrazioni loro registrano in analogico, fanno i mix in analogico, L'unica differenza è che loro, per forza di cose, si trovano a fare il master in digitale, un po' per il fatto che per i CD, un po' per la questione degli streaming, gli tocca passare per digitale per forza di cose. Però se fosse per loro sarebbe tutto quanto in analogico dall'inizio alla fine. Quindi fanno la registrazione sui 2 pollici e mezzo, fanno il mix sul mezzo pollice e poi mettono nel computer. E questo perché? Perché loro, almeno lui, ritiene che la loro musica suoni bene su formato analogico, perché hanno quella cosa che un CD o uno streaming non ti dà, un MP3 non ti dà. E ironia della sorte, stiamo vedendo anche un revival di vinili, cassette in questo periodo, cosa che appunto quando sono nato io stavano morendo, adesso sta morendo un po' di più i CD e dice che anche lui preferisce formati del genere perché ad esempio vedere la copertina di Sabbath Bloody Sabbath su vinile hai un pezzo d'arte, quindi anche per quello si ricollega al discorso del dipinto iniziale. Praticamente tu hai un'opera d'arte a tutto tondo che rivolve accanto quello che è Bongzilla.
Ok, a parte demoni in testa, eccetera, eccetera, continuiamo la video intervista. Ragazzi, fatemi una vita. Allora, leggendo la sì, leggendo la video intervista, continuando sulla video intervista, mi viene da chiedere questo. Come si riesce a coniugare i Bongzilla all'interno dei riff di chitarra e allo stesso tempo, invece, le linee di basso quanto potrebbero essere o quanto devono essere morbose per un genere come lo stoner, come il doom?
So, this question is regarding the riffing, both on the guitar and the bass guitar. How do you think that they have to sound, uh, quote unquote, morbid in a way, and still make? Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And still maintain the heavy sound that one can expect from sludge and stoner. And how you can and how can you channel all that Bongzilla into those two instruments?
Wow. I mean, we've always loved really thick, heavy tones. I mean, we tuned to B, so it's 5 steps lower than normal.
Okay.
So that's part of it. We use really heavy strings, and then the mad amps. We use in the States. I use a Sun Model T and a 200-watt mad amp, and then Jeff uses 3 120-watt mad amps. So
Jesus fucking Christ.
So that also helps. And I mean, what was funny when I went to bass is I had always on guitar searched for the lowest guitar tone I could ever try to sort out. And then I'm like, well, why wasn't I playing bass the whole time? This is what I wanted it to sound like heavier. Yeah, low and slow. I don't know. I remember first, like I was really into punk, like Black Flag and the Circle Jerks, and I started playing in bands, and I remember going to a friend's and getting stoned and listening. He put on Masters of Reality, and I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I literally remembered how great that record was. I had forgotten. And you're a punk kid, and people tell you not to listen to metal or whatever, you know. Like, if you have a mohawk, you can't listen to Sabbath. You can only listen to one.
Definitely.
You know, but I think it's that's crap, you know. Music, to me, music is to get you off like a drug.
Mm.
And if you like Beyonce and it gets you off, you know,
Whatever fits you.
Yeah, who cares what I think? Like,
Mhm.
yeah. When fans will walk up to me, do you like System of a Down? Sadly, I don't. It just doesn't, you know, take me
Doesn't
where I
appeal
need
to you.
to go. Yeah, nothing. You know, there's a lot of people getting off on that music, so I could never say it's bad. I can say I don't like it, you know, but I rarely get past the 70s, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I can see
besides
that.
like friends of ours like Sleep and I Hate God and Weed Eater I listen to. And
Mhm.
there's been bands that Cavity. Have you guys ever heard Floor?
I
One of the
think
guys
I've heard about them, but never
they
actually
call
listened to them.
it doom pop, but and they have one of the heaviest guitar tones ever, and it's two guitars and a drummer, and then he sings incredibly beautiful. The
Mhm.
gentleman's also in a band called Torch, if you've heard Torch.
I've heard Torch,
Yeah, which
but
is more punk rocky, but this
yeah,
band
more
is super
laid
heavy
down.
riffs, but the singing is just like angels.
Mhm.
But a band that hardly anybody I know when I have played them for them but it would never stop me from liking them because, you know, they get me, you know, the bands that you're like, oh yeah, no matter what's going on in my life, I can put a Sabbath record on and it'll change it, you know, like
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
horrible things going on, a couple Sabbath riffs will change it. So, and that's the
Whatever that
power of
basically.
music
Yeah.
is the gift of like when I hear musicians talk about mastering and like I do this, I do that, like music's a gift from the universe is what I think. And like so to in how I discovered to get, I mean, I'd always been smoking a lot of pot, just not, I mean, for a lot of my life, I didn't do any other drugs but pot and hallucinogenics. And so to get really wasted, you have to smoke a lot of pot. Not so
Okay.
much in America anymore because they made it so pure. There's like this stuff I was doing, that's like 95% pure THC crystals. And
Okay.
you're literally, it's going to sound bad, but it's not. You're literally freebasing THC crystals.
Yeah. So
But
basically, you get the it without having to worry about what's inside.
I no, I mean, where no, it's because it's pure. The way they do it is all science here. It's crazy. Like these are made. They make us like they extract THC and it's a goo, and then they put that in this machine that I can only describe as real similar to how they make man-made diamonds.
Hmm.
And then with pressure and heat, these crystals literally grow out of the goo.
Ah. Okay.
And then they
Okay.
harvest those and they sell it to me and I smoke it.
Okay.
But it's like it would like if you like a joint you all would roll, it would be like smoking 10 of them at once because you all like to put tobacco in them. But
Jesus
or
Christ.
hash. I mean, I get we like in Italy when we get hash, we smoke hash under glass. It's a way to do it pure. Put it on a pin, light it, put a glass over it, then you take a straw and suck the smoke out of the glass. But we freak kids out doing it just because smoking pure hash, you get pretty high. And this stuff is way stronger than pure hash. And that's how I channel. I was getting to the last part of the question.
Yeah. So
Is getting
again,
so
we went
high.
through circle.
Yeah. I mean, I tangent. It's marijuana. I think I probably smoke sativa, which makes my brain go. Indicas will like, and
Yeah.
sativas. And plus, I like talking about shit like this, you know. music is such a spiritual thing for me that, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fun. I like spreading the truth of music, and it's, you know, the only art form that almost everybody gets.
Mhm.
You know, not so. I think I answered the question. You're going to ask questions I might not even answer them.
No.
But I will say a
It's
lot
good.
of
I've noticed that we're going full circle with every question that we're doing, so that's great to begin with. Maybe sometimes if someone is figuring what the fuck is it talking about because it gets in late,
Yeah,
he
you gotta
gets
go watch it. It's gonna
yeah,
be posted on YouTube, yes?
exactly. It's going to be posted
Yeah.
on
So go watch
YouTube.
the whole thing. And
Exactly.
then I still won't make sense, but that's okay. If
I
you
would
get
say
really
that,
high, you might. Everybody should just try to get really, really high. And when I do a hit, everybody else should.
okay. It's a shame because I don't have anything here. So.
Oh, it's okay. I'll smoke for both of us. Or all three of us.
Okay, I will now say in Italian what we just talked
Yeah.
about. And then we'll get back to you. Allora,
Yeah.
parto dicendo una cosa. Allora, intanto ha detto che fumerà per tutti e tre quanti noi in questo momento. Perché appunto io non c'ho un cazzo qua, quindi non posso fare molto. E ha detto, siccome i discorsi che stiamo facendo sembrano tanto voli pindarici che partono, arrivano da qualsiasi parte, però poi ritornano all'inizio, quello che dico è, o meglio che dice lui è, fumatevi una tromba, guardatevi l'intervista, attivate i sottotitoli, ma ascoltate tutto quanto quello che viene detto, perché magari dopo uno arriva a metà di una risposta e dice ma di che cazzo stanno parlando, e quindi deve rivedersi tutto per forza di cose. Comunque, tornando alla domanda, dei riff che vengono fuori da chitarra e basso, come nascono? Come fanno a canalizzare per fare quelle cose là? E allora, partendo dal principio che loro suonano intanto in Si, quindi 5 semitoni più in basso rispetto all'accordatura classica, entrambi gli strumenti. Usano corde ciccione, quindi anche quello va a contribuire molto sul suono. Oltre a questo ci va gli amplificatori. Ad esempio, lui col basso utilizza una Sun modello T, che è classicissima per quanto riguarda il genere, come anche una testata Matamp, la Green, che è simile alla... è stupido da dire, ma è praticamente è simile a una testata Orange, ma è verde ed è molto più cicciona, molto più cattiva. Il chitarrista usa 3 testate Matamp, tutte quante sparate. Quindi questo qua, tutto assieme, va a creare il 90% del suono che loro hanno. E da là poi parte il volo pindarico, dicendo che anche il fatto di diventare molto, molto alti da un certo punto di vista contribuisce al suono, nel senso che loro entrano in una modalità particolare, nel senso che lui ha sempre fumato sativa, che è la psicoattiva, e utilizzato sostanze comunque naturali. E ha detto anche quello che sto fumando io adesso sono cristalli di THC puri al 95%, non fuma un'erba che sia raccolta, perché ha detto quello che mi dà lo stesso cristallo è 10 volte quello che mi dà una canna. quindi quello lo rende molto più alto, molto più velocemente rispetto a quello che sarebbe normalmente. E questo anche per poter riuscire poi a canalizzare e finire in 20.000 posti diversi con la testa per poter fare quello che fa. Ha detto poi, sempre parlando dei cristalli, che già dietro quello che c'è là nei cristalli è molto importante per quello che poi è la riuscita del prodotto finale. Non sta a chiedermi perché siamo entrati in questo discorso, io sto solo traducendo, quindi non... praticamente viene creata questa sorta di resina dall'erba, che poi, come per i diamanti fatti in laboratorio, viene pressata e messa ad elevate temperature, che crea questo cristallo. E lui è così, unendo queste cose, che va a creare quello che è il suono Bongzilla. Poi ha detto, ad esempio, che quando è in Italia magari prende del fumo, quindi il mattoncino, chiamiamolo così, che poi va a bruciare all'interno di un bicchiere per poi tirar su con quantomeno i vapori vengono risucchiati da altro, cioè dipende da cosa al momento, perché anche quello aiuta molto per entrare nel mood giusto per farlo.
Oh, ok, prima di fare la tua domanda, siamo ormai all'ufficio informazioni. Allora, prima di fare la tua domanda, Adimer, leggiamo la domanda un attimino di Stefano. Buonasera, avevo una considerazione da proporre al vostro ospite al Cadico Mestre e al buon Adimer sulla questione revival del vinile. Sono d'accordo che
Mm,
vedere un artwork stampato in grande formato sia una goduria con gli occhi, ma il mio dubbio è il seguente: fin quando ha senso, come fanno molte band, mettere in stampa prodotti registrati e mixati digitali su un supporto analogico come il vinile? Pienamente d'accordo, è vero, perché ci sono dei vinili che si sentono
assolutamente.
puliti.
Sì, stavo pensando a delle uscite che ho visto. Vabbè, ce n'è una che è abbastanza rinomata in negativo per essere fatta tutta in analogico, che è ad esempio, mi viene in mente Sunbather, The Def Heaven. Dalla registrazione al
Sì,
mastering in digitale, quelle vinile
tedeschi,
sono
giusto?
fotonico. Però sì, son d'accordo anch'io da un determinato punto di vista.
Mm,
Poi dipende anche dalle possibilità, più che altro
certo,
che
certo.
una sicuramente registrare, fare il mix in analogico ora è molto più dispendioso
Sì, sì.
rispetto ad allora, quindi appunto chi può permetterselo vale la pena, più assolutamente d'accordo. So there's Stefano that is saying it has a consideration regarding what we were talking about on vinyls and the revival that it is having recently. He says that he agrees on the fact that seeing the printed artwork in a big format is a pleasure for the eyes, but his doubt is the following. Uh, at what point it makes sense or not, as many bands do, to actually print on vinyl albums that are recorded and mixed on digital instead of analog.
So I'm not sure I understood the question.
He is asking what point it makes sense to put out on an analog format, the vinyl, an album that has been recorded and mixed in digital instead of basically doing the analog way as you do, apart from the mastering
Oh,
process.
I mean, why? Or at what point does it make sense to just do digital?
Yeah, to actually put out on analog.
Oh, to purely put it out on analog. Yeah, it's just, I mean, you just have to admit, we mixed, so the record versions of Amerijuanican are AAA.
Okay.
That was mastered. Well, Gateway was mastered non-digitally too. So
Okay.
this one was I don't know how. I think this one was mastered digitally. The last two, because we did
Okay.
like relapse. We mastered Amerijuanican and Gateway with a gentleman in Chicago that had mastered and mixed like a bunch. Do you know who the band Styx is? Renegade, the song
Yeah.
Renegade, or yeah. He and the lead singer of Styx was walking out of the place when we were walking in. We were going to master Amerijuanican.
Okay.
He's like,
Okay.
Did you meet Dennis? And I'm like, that was Dennis DeYoung. Holy crap! They were one of my favorite bands growing up because they were from Chicago, and I grew up like 4 hours from Chicago. So you know how you'll get more into bands that are near you. You know.
Mm-hmm. Also, I was talking about the fact that from my point of view, it depends mainly on a budget point of view because recording and
I mean,
mixing on tape as a price.
obviously, oh no, yeah, but we always just wanted. I mean, we have always sought out an old 70s sound, and there was no digital. And I just really think if you think about digital versus sound is a wave, right? And no matter how you make those little squares, you're taking the wave out of it. It's not a wave anymore. It's this step thing, right?
Yeah.
Digital.
It breaks.
It's to me, the question is more, when will everybody get it that it's digital is not the way to listen to music? It's easy now. If I'm walking around with my phone, I'm listening to MP3s or I'm listening to Spotify. Yeah. But I mean, you can listen to waves and they're better, but it's still digital, no matter how small that step is. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the human ear can hear it. I can tell when people record on tape because there's a compression and there's a warmness to it. That's why.
Even just the breaking up point, because there's like, the tape saturation instead of clipping.
On the new record on I never remember the name of our songs. It's super funny. Or when I'm trying to tell about a song, there's really overdriven vocals, and all you do is overdrive the vocal before it hits the tape, and it causes really cool distortion. And you can't really do it digitally. You can mimic it digitally.
Yeah, with tape saturators and so on, but it doesn't sound the same.
You know, we're all old too. First thing I ever listened to was records at my uncle's house. You know, so I love records. So especially now, like, you know, picture discs and the limited vinyl that everybody does, and you know, I've seen kids buy. You know, if we have 3 different versions, they'll get all 3. That's a, you know, that's a collector. I've talked to kids, they don't even ever open they'll open it, get the code out to download it, but then it's instead of getting a t-shirt, instead of getting a t-shirt, they get a record because you know, it's artwork.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just I wouldn't, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't ever go digital.
No, like I can see the point.
An impossible format that wasn't digital that you could listen to on your phone and stuff. Now, with that being said, I'm sure there's one that says it sounds like analog, but you know,
but it doesn't.
Everything's so. I mean, we mimic things too, but everything's so mimicked, and you know, we're past. But yeah, I would never go digital unless I had to. So it's almost the reverse of the question. It never would make sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
To bring it back around again. Because I wouldn't if I didn't have to. But
okay.
out of necessity, so we've always taken the money to do that. Just because I like sounds so much better. Like those initial, like what I'm listening to when we mix it or master it is so, yeah. It's just, if you're mastering a tape like we did with Gateway and Amerijuanican, it's, yeah.
Sounds so much better for you.
Warm. Digital's like black metal to me. It takes the soul out of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I know that people are going to probably think I'm crazy for even saying any of it, but, well, I am crazy, but that's good.
It's a good kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't do what I'm doing.
Allora, praticamente ha detto che se fosse per lui tutto quanto sarebbe fatto in analogico. Nel senso che, ad esempio, i 2 album Gateway e Amerijuanican sono fatti in analogico a tutto tondo, quindi dalla registrazione al mastering, perché poi sono stati fatti a Chicago da uno appunto che già conoscevano, che si chiama Dan Stout, e praticamente quello che lui dice è: suona molto meglio su nastro piuttosto che in digitale. Ovviamente
Scusami Adime, qual è l'altro
sì,
disco? Qual è l'altro disco?
sono quello del 2002 e quello del 2005, Gateway
Vai.
e Amerijuanican.
Grazie.
E prego. E lui dice che ha una determinata sonorità che sicuramente va a giocare molto a favore in senso generale, perché lui dice: il suono è fatto per essere analogico, è un'onda, quindi che senso ha poi andare a tagliare, creare quadratini invece che tenere l'onda così com'è. E sì, puoi emulare il suono analogico, puoi fare come cavolo ti pare, però anche solo il fatto di distorcere il nastro, quindi pompare il volume prima di registrare, come sulla voce, crea una distorsione così gradevole all'orecchio che è appunto difficile emulare. Poi appunto Stefano, ti chiedo scusa, io sto cercando di mettere tutto assieme il mega volo pindarico che è stato fatto anche adesso. E cos'altro stava dicendo? Che appunto se fosse per lui dovrebbe essere analogico, basta.
Okay.
Cioè non c'è via di mezzo. Ovvio che se lui va in giro si ascolta MP3 o qualsiasi altra cosa, però gli dà fastidio la resa sonora, che nel senso riesce a sentire comunque se una cosa è stata registrata in analogico o meno, però appunto, come dicevo anche all'inizio, se si ha i fondi si cerca di spendere tutto quello che si può per fare in analogico, ma appunto questa è la sua visione, poi appunto ogni persona ha il suo.
Ok, a te la prossima domanda. Continuiamo questa interessante e psicologicamente instabile intervista. Prego.
Okay, I will now go into asking you what this is my typical question that I'm doing. what brought you into sludge, doom? I don't ask about stoner. How you got into that?
I mean, uh, I grew up on Sabbath and Zeppelin and uh, the James Gang, Styx. Uh, so I think it was always the music that got me really off, and then I went off to punk rock for a little bit, and like like I described the day I remembered how great Black Sabbath was, and that was, I mean, I remember when I was 11 years old. A friend of mine, stole weed from his brother. I had borrowed Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath from a friend of mine's older brother that was super cool to us.
Mhm.
And we smoked that weed. And my friend was really good at basketball, way better at basketball than me, but I beat him in a game of 1-on-1. So something clicked in my head that this drug was really good for me. And then we walked inside, or we smoked some more and walked inside. And I go, oh, I have this Black Sabbath record I borrowed. And we put it on. Well, I was a Catholic. I was an altar boy. Like, I went to Catholic grade school. So
Okay.
until I was 13, I was in Catholic school. So I remember looking at the cover, seeing the angels, cool, and I opened up the gates. It was a
A
gate sleeve.
gatefold.
Yeah, gatefolds. Thank you. Marijuana wins sometimes. Uh, uh, and I saw the demons and shit. And I'm like, I'm going to hell if I put this record on. And I took that record out of that sleeve and put it right on. But like, looking back on it, that could have literally been the day Bongzilla was sort of born.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
That's the second time I ever smoked pot. Probably the first time I got high though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been
Uh,
smoking pot for a couple of years now.
just a couple.
Yeah, couple, 2, 3.
Okay.
And what also brought you into music to begin with, like playing an instrument and whatnot?
Uh yeah, that was. I mean, how it kind of. I always wanted to play. My parents got me a guitar and gave me guitar lessons, and it just the people teaching me, and then in school when you were in music, the teachers were just never made music like they made it like I couldn't do it. But then I was like 20 years old, and I was going to college, and I didn't really like it. And so I was going to take a semester off, and I was living with 4 musicians, and there was all these instruments sitting around.
Mhm.
And I didn't have to practice because my mom was paying for lessons. I didn't, I just had to pick up an instrument and do what I wanted. And I remember talking to my roommate, and at first I wasn't picking up any instruments. And he goes, "Why don't you play? You love music so much. Why don't you play?" And I did the classic, like a lot of people. "Oh, I can't. I tried." And I was 20 years old, by the way. And he goes, "That's crap. Everybody can play music." So, because nobody was going, "You're out of rhythm," or "That's not the right chord progression." He told me, if you put your fingers if you put 2 fingers or 3 fingers or any more, if you have more than 4, that's cool too. Uh, that's something. And if you want to look it up, you can find it out. But if you like how it sounds, it's right. You know what I mean? There's no the truth of music to me. You can get trained and learn what's right and wrong. But then
Mhm.
I've run into people that are super trained and can't jam, can't just play. Like, one of my favorite things to do, we almost always do it in Bongzilla, is just jam. So
Sit
anyway,
down and play.
I got sidetracked. So I was living with those musicians, and with a little encouragement from him and all the instruments laying around, I just started playing, and probably I was in a band before I really knew how to play. One of the things that struck me was if I beat people to the riff, they have to play with me. I don't have to play with them. And that, for whatever to this day, that's why I always don't think I write music. I channel, because weirdly I've always felt like writing songs is easy for me. I don't think I'm a super good musician of, or skilled like people would say, oh, he's a great bass player, like the guy from Tool or Geddy Lee. But writing a song, I can get me high enough, I'll throw you a couple songs out right now. That's
yeah.
I mean, so
people hear
those
music for the
guys
riffing.
started playing in bands before I knew it, and then probably 2 or 3 years of having like more punk rock bands, me and the original bass player hooked up, and at that point I was so back into Sabbath and Zeppelin. Like I still listen, like I listen to both now. Like the idiotic thought of not being able to listen to one kind of music because you're a punk rocker or something. I'm a goth, so I can only, what a horrible life. But because you never get to listen to country or the old blues, like the 20 eras, like jug bands and stuff from America are so ridiculously sick. But so yeah, and then next thing I know it, I was telling my parents after they paid for 3.5 years of college that I was quitting to play music because my band just was, we're going to record a record and we're going to do this. And it always came, it's way too much longer now, but stuff happened really weirdly fast once it started to happen for us.
Yeah, once you realize.
Yeah, I mean, when I felt the power of us, especially when Spanky joined, we had a record out with Spanky. We had a 7-inch out. But when Spanky joined, us four, with our original bass player, it just felt like what I had read about in magazines when you read about the Melvins or something, or Black Flag. Like, yeah, we're a fucking band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then the beauty of what happened to us, that, where people think we're anything, or people listen to my music, and that's an honor and a gift. Anybody that tells you different, shame on them, because I get goosebumps about the shit people have said to me about what my music has helped them. I mean, they're me. We were on tour last week and we played a show, and this kid walked up to me shaking. I'm like, man, stop shaking. I'm you. You're me. I shook. When I think I met the dudes in Husker Du, this old Minneapolis punk rock, I was shaking, like so freaked out and so loving their music, thinking they're bigger than a human being. Which in America, most people think we're less than a human being. You're a musician. What's your other job?
Okay.
Yeah, but how do you pay the bills?
Exactly.
Okay.
So basically, and that I will be translating back what we said.
I'm going to go back to smoking then.
Yeah, sure. So basically, you started from Sabbath, you went to punk, and then you followed the smoke toward the riffle land. We can say.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah, the story about being 11, like when I really that struck me. I was telling somebody that story, and they were like, dude, do you realize that was the day Bongzilla was born? I'm like, oh shit.
God damn it.
Like I get goosebumps when I say it, that it was. It's crazy. And they always say, like, one thing about marijuana is if you're a heavy smoker, you get stuck at an age where you started smoking. Not to say you're not gonna learn. Like I never grew up. I'm old doing crazy shit. And doing it still in a punk rock fashion. You know, we're not in buses. We're, you know, we're this last tour we stayed at people's houses because we think with, you know, I have a one room apartment, and a week ago I had this band. Right before we went on tour, I went to a show and these kids had no place to stay. I'm like, well, I'll just take mushrooms and you guys can sleep at my house. So I'm gonna go take an acoustic guitar and go play music to a lake on mushrooms. So that's what I did.
The spirit that matters.
Yeah, man, exactly. It's so, yeah, like in the music industry is so like the other side of it for how spiritual fucking music is, you know, and how soul quenching. Have you been soul quenched by looking at the statue of David or the Thinker?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful and I appreciate them, but nothing like that. Poems have, you know, quenched my soul. Words do. So the one time words are good, or one of the times words are good.
Ok, traduciamo. Vai.
Ok,
All right.
allora, gli ho fatto la mia classica domanda di rito, cioè cosa l'ha portato a fare quello che fa, cosa l'ha avvicinato allo sludge, al doom, allo stoner, e la sua risposta coincide anche quasi in un certo senso con la nascita dei Bongzilla, nel senso che aveva 11 anni, era la seconda volta in assoluto che lui si fumava una tromba e la prima che ha avuto risultati su di lui. E quel giorno praticamente aveva, assieme a un suo amico, sto suo amico aveva rubato un po' di fluorescenze e lui era riuscito a farsi prestare il vinile di Sabato Bloody Sabbath, un gatefold. E allora loro si trovano, fumano un po', giocano a basket, solo che lui realizza che questo suo amico sarebbe molto meglio di lui, ma quella volta lui è riuscito a batterlo. E allora ha iniziato a pensare, cazzo, allora questa pianta fa per me, mi fa fare meglio di quello che farei normalmente. E continuano. A una certa, lui se ne esce con, guarda, io ho il vinile ho un vinile di Black Sabbath in casa, ma che ce lo andiamo ad ascoltare? Quindi rosto con i Black Sabbath, apro il gatefold e tenendo conto che lui a quell'epoca andava in una scuola cristiana, guarda la copertina, rimane piacevolmente stupito, però quando guarda dentro qualcosa in lui inizia a switchare, perché appunto parlando di cose che sembrano, ricordiamo, demoniache, lui dice cazzo potrei finire all'inferno se ascoltassi sta roba. E allora cosa fa? Prende, mette sul vinile. Quindi da là praticamente è stato il momento in cui possiamo dire che sono quasi nati i Bongzilla. E oltre a questo, gli ho chiesto cosa l'ha avvicinato alla musica, nel senso che lui ha avuto il periodo dove ascoltava più roba stile Black Sabbath, poi è cresciuto ascoltando gruppi più sul versante punk, quindi tipo i Black Flag, per poi ritornare, quindi ha avuto questa transizione dal punto di vista musicale. Allora, di per sé lui ha iniziato a suonare la chitarra, ricordiamolo, come semplice allievo. Lui prendeva lezioni, i suoi genitori gli avevano regalato una chitarra e ha iniziato a prendere queste lezioni, solo che le lezioni lo portavano a pensare che gliele stessero dando in maniera che lui pensasse di essere incapace nel fare quello che fa. Mentre a lui interessava, detta proprio onestamente, come l'ha detto anche lui, il riff. Lui voleva creare quello. Quindi era al college, quindi all'età di 20 anni, e avevano questa stanza dove aveva tutti i vari strumenti. Lui non aveva mai avuto un gruppo effettivamente serio fino ad allora. E spronato da un suo amico del college, che gli chiedeva appunto: ma perché non suoni, visto che ti piace tanto la musica? Ma non sono capace, no, le classiche stronzatine che dici quando qualsiasi volta tu prendi in mano uno strumento. Non sono capace. E da allora ha recuperato 2 o 3 persone per iniziare a suonare, e là ha iniziato a prendere giro la questione. Tant'è che dopo 2 anni e mezzo di college, o 3 anni e mezzo di college, non mi ricordo, lui ha mollato gli studi perché il gruppo punk in cui lui stava suonando all'epoca ha preso piede un po' di più del previsto. Andiamo a registrare un disco, tutte quelle robe là, solo che all'epoca sembrava muoversi tutto quanto quasi a rilento.
Ok.
Mentre adesso col senno di poi, sapendo che è giusto un paio di anni che comunque lui fuma, e quindi questo ha anche influito abbastanza sulla questione, realizza che in realtà è successo molto più velocemente di quello che pensasse. E niente, questo è stato il percorso.
Ok, faccio le ultime due domande prima della chiusura, la domanda classica del canale. Prima voglio fare un'altra domanda. La domanda che vorrei porre a Mister leader di Bongzilla è questa. Come si riesce a creare quegli arpeggi all'interno, soprattutto dello stoner? E questi arpeggi come possono entrare in situazione live all'interno, nello stesso preciso momento, in un film, fuoriuscendo su un libro contorto che va a raccontare la storia di un serial killer.
Okay, so he's asking a double question in a way. The first one is, how can someone be able to actually put an arpeggio into stoner metal and make it sound appealable? Is it even a word? But you get the meaning. That it may
Like,
have an appeal in the context that is being used.
like, how can you fit arpeggios in stoner rock? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, and make them sound good, and that someone can
Mastodon.
appreciate that.
Mastodon.
Okay.
Mastodon. I mean, I consider them in the broad umbrella of stoner rock, especially their newer stuff, and they're doing crazy arpeg. We never. I mean, we don't. I don't. My brain's, when it comes to music, my brain's pretty simple. Plus, I always like, early in the early days of, well, probably when they first signed to Relapse back in the day, right before Remission, they had an EP and they opened for us for 10 days. And they're such good musicians, I didn't even want to pick up my guitar because they're and I'm going, so I'm like, I don't even deserve. And Brent, their lead guy, the guy with the tattoos on his face,
on the face.
He's not only one of the best guitar players I ever seen. He would pick up anything he was near and play it, and like not unlike Dixie. I mean, but Brent's beyond. And now that he just plays music, but yeah,
whatever may sound musical, it takes it and
Yeah, I think they do it well. Paul Bearer kind of does it now again. They do those, Baroness. They're people that come to
okay.
mind. It's I like, I got to remember it. The one thing they're right about is your short term does.
Okay.
And even like, I don't know about other musicians, but if we don't play a song for a long time, I got to go back and learn it. It's pretty funny to me. Go back and learn your own music. At least
Like, how the fuck did it do that?
Well, yeah, and then you go watch yourself on YouTube, and you're like, "Oh man, this is so weird."
Yeah,
But you have a supercomputer in your pants, so
Yeah, and no, it's funny because you said about it, and there's like even Zach Wild went on YouTube to actually learn Pantera songs, so it's not surprising at all.
Yeah, it's easy. I never figured out covers, but recently I had since like when COVID started, I started playing. Well, Bongzilla has a countryside project called the Sweetgrass Outlaws. So the most kind of music I play these days by myself, or Bongzilla plays a lot. We play once or twice a week if people are around. But if I'm just sitting around, I'll be picking what they call Travis picking, or like dudes like Towns Van Zandt or Blaze Foley, or like Hank Williams, like old country. The music that's listened to the most in the Bongzilla van is country, for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, to really go back to the question, I think and then you speak of that, and look what Earth did. They took drone music and made it country. So there's some things you shouldn't do, like Fintroll, polka, and metal, but I think most things you can get away with and pull off. So I would say that's already been done, and people do it well.
And
So.
there's also the second part of the question, which is how can you take the riffing that you are doing and actually be able to put it in a book as text and talk about, let's say, a serial killer with those riffs? What kind of riffing would you come up with?
If say the first part of that.
That if you were to put down a riff and actually make it able to quote unquote write a book about a serial killer, what kind of riffing would you put out?
Wow.
In a way.
I think it would depend what kind of serial killer, because there's in this. Well, I grew up in we live in Wisconsin, and that's Ed Gein territory. I grew up probably 40 or so, probably 60 kilometers from where Ed Gein lived.
Okay.
And there was many other stories in Wisconsin about serial killers. It was the Coots family murders, like 10 miles from where I lived, and the son of this family, like it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit.
Jesus Christ.
He killed.
Ecco, sparito con questa domanda da €1.000.000.
Sì.
Prego.
Intanto vado avanti, inizio a tradurre quello che era stato detto prima.
Yes.
Praticamente riguardo mi son perso cosa fosse la prima domanda. Scusa.
No, prego, ci
Porca
mancherebbe.
troia. Allora, qual era la prima parte della domanda che mi avevi fatto?
Ascolta, parti dall'ultima, parti dalla fine.
È che devo ancora finire. Okay, you're back.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, can you?
But I'm kind of back, but I don't have
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
I will
but
I will be I will be translating the first part of the question right now. Allora, la prima parte era quella del che cazzo era? Porca puttana.
La prima parte era quella in poche parole, quando per il live, come riuscivano con gli arpeggi a
Ah,
creare
okay.
okay.
Okay, ho capito. Allora, di per sé ha detto che loro era una roba che non usano troppo,
Okay,
uhm, perché preferisce appunto più il riffone, quindi vuole
pesanti
la
okay.
roba pesante. Però se bisogna parlare di artisti che sono nel genere, ma che riescono a fare robe del genere, Mastodon, soprattutto. Ha detto che ci son pochi musicisti che sono in grado di fare quelle robe. Ad esempio, c'è il loro chitarrista Brent
Mh-mh.
che è capace di prendere qualsiasi roba, anche per forza di cose non musicale, e farla suonare, comunque riuscire a fare qualsiasi cosa. Poi anche l'altro chitarrista, grandissimo anche lui, ehm, ci sono gruppi come i Baroness che sono in grado
Grandi.
di fare di fare queste cose, o gli Earth addirittura. Ci son una valanga di gruppi che, riescono a traslare un arpeggio nello stoner, sludge o quello che è. Detto che comunque ci son tantissimi gruppi che varrebbe la pena. Ovviamente la sua testa da fattone gli fa ricordare le band più recenti, che lui ascolta più di recente. Detto che è una roba che, di per sé, non vede nei Bongzilla. Tant'è che lui addirittura arriva certe volte che se è da tanto tempo che non suona una canzone, deve tornare indietro, studiarsela
Mh-mh.
da YouTube. e Okay, we're back on track. I was
I'm back.
translating.
I was actually just abducted by aliens, so I apologize for that.
No, no worries. They got you back, so it's great. I was translating the first part of the question, and then we will be keeping with
Mh-mh.
the second part of the question. Sì, praticamente avevo finito, nel senso che lui va per YouTube e cerca di impararsi nuovamente da zero le canzoni che, che non si ricorda più, per farti capire quanto gli, tra virgolette, interessi quello che pensa agli altri, o che comunque riesce a suonare. Via, riffoni a volume alto.
Okay.
We were talking about the fact that you basically lived and grew up next to uh, Ed Gacy,
Ed Gein?
uh,
Ed Gein.
Ed Geese. Sorry.
Yeah. You're anyway, Wayne Gacy? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mixed up the two.
But it's Ed Gein. Yeah, he was the guy that made lamps and shit.
Out of skin, out of human skin.
And then Jeffrey Dahmer was in Milwaukee, which we live about an hour away from Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yep, apartment 213.
Yeah, so I guess that just the story that's in your area actually can tell more than maybe what the riffs can do.
I mean, yeah, I never got to say what serial killer. I guess I would probably go with Ed Gein. It's crazy. Where I grew up, literally people kill people and eat them. And not like for fun. They'll eat you because they hate you and they take your power. Crazy shit.
Yeah, some sort of spiritual kind of.
I grew up way up north, which is almost growing up like way down south where you're still on dirt roads and drinking beer out in the woods as a little kid. And in Wisconsin, like I started stealing beer from my dad at 10. Me and my friend did. Well, he would steal beer from his dad, and then we'd meet up and canoe down the Wisconsin River. And then I discovered pot.
And then everything changed.
Well, a little bit. Actually, a lot of bit. I mean, what marijuana has given me, you know, Bongzilla is, everybody thought it was so crazy and it was so easy to sing about, you know, everybody else sings about their life. That's all I'm doing. Nobody really understands that. Because a lot of people think it's a joke that we don't even smoke, or then they can't.
Yeah, they're posers in a way.
Yeah, and you run into bands. I'm not even going to say what bong band, but I know bong bands, one from Chicago, so you should be able to guess then, that they don't even smoke. Every time I see those kids, I give them so much shit. I'm like, just, I don't know, change your name. Take the bong out. You guys don't even smoke, you know? And then I think people just think it's crazy. Like, once they find out it's not a joke and watch me sit down and smoke for 2 hours like I like to sometimes, and then be able to talk and function, it becomes a pretty interesting situation. And people have asked me, like, I get asked at our show a lot if I'm all right by fans, because I'll eat, not only smoke, I'll try to eat for a show like 600 milligrams of pop food at least. Like a normal day, not even playing, is 400 for me.
Jesus Christ.
And my record for a Bongzilla show was in Madison, and it was 2,000 milligrams.
Okay.
Of THC.
Of edible THC.
Yeah.
If you read about it, makes it about a third stronger than it would be normally. But then I'll smoke with everybody too. Probably smoke more than everybody else. I just, you know, I'm like, if I don't smoke, I'm over there. Like, think I don't make sense now? You would.
Yeah, from the series, you can't outsmoke me, I guess. You know.
Everybody tries to make, so yeah, people have, I'm like, I don't know if you really can smoke, there's probably not enough weed. But Mike and Jeff, Spanky and Magma will joke, if you can get past him, we'll surely pitch in and finish you off. But there's no way. He will smoke all day with you. He will not stop. I won't stop. If I don't have to stop, I you know, I stop because I have to go to work, or, you know,
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ok, praticamente la questione è andata un attimo degenerando, nel senso che lui appunto viene dal Wisconsin, e come serial killer hanno avuto ad esempio Ed Gein, è vissuto a una 60ina di chilometri da lui. Poi ci sono stati svariati episodi di roba quasi alla Texas Chainsaw Massacre come livello di brutalità. E un'altra roba che ha detto è che ha vissuto tipo un'ora di strada da dove Jeffrey Dahmer ha avuto a che fare. Quindi si sono create quelle storie dove sicuramente hanno avuto a che fare con i riff, però appunto lui non va di sicuro a dire che riuscirebbe a traslare quello che è he disappeared, but he will be right back. So.
Oh, it's okay. I was disappearing too. He probably got abducted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going around. Super going around. But they have, the good thing is they have really good weed.
Yeah.
That's space weed.
Cosa stavo dicendo? Che praticamente sì, ti stavamo un attimo prendendo per il culo mentre che eri via. Nulla di che,
Grazie.
tranquillo.
Tutto a posto.
E sì, appunto Ed Gee è quello che si faceva le lampade, poltrone con pelle delle persone, ad esempio.
Non me lo
Quindi
ricordo questo.
sì, sicuramente hai visto la foto della lampada dove ecco.
Mhm.
Però
Ok.
appunto ce ne sarebbero di robe da raccontare, solo che appunto anche la zona da dove lui è cresciuto, lui già a 10 anni rubava le birre a suo padre, andavano a bere sul fiume, quelle robe là, poi ha scoperto l'erba, quindi quelle sono le robe principali che lui andrebbe e riuscirebbe a trascrivere in musica. Poi
Ok, perché l'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. Salute.
esatto, no, ha detto che appunto quando era sparito, che era stato
Oh,
rapito dagli alieni e che appunto ha detto che hanno moltissima e buonissima erba. Quindi, ok,
Ok.
oh, and I never said the music. It would be grindcore for sure. If
ok.
I was to write serial music, yeah, grindcore for sure. Or maybe like Macabre. Have you ever heard Macabre from Chicago?
I
Check
guess
out Macabre.
not.
Yeah, they're told they dress up like Ed Gein, super, but
Oh,
it's
I guess
more
I've seen pictures then.
it's more fast death metal than grind. But I played grindcore for sure.
Yeah, it's like borderline between death and grind.
Yeah, yeah.
Ok, ok, ok.
Ok.
Ha detto
But
che
yeah, for
se...
sure it would. I forgot that really. See, I told you there would be at least one question I wouldn't really answer, and that was it. But it would be grindcore for sure. Just
And
slice
that's
the
awesome.
slicing and dicing of grindcore is built for, cutting
Serial
someone up
killers.
and having dinner, so to speak.
Yummy.
A
Uh,
deer, a human, John
yeah,
pickle them. If pickle them, I don't know, pickled
this...
human toe. It's
Oh,
totally,
ok.
totally a thing.
Ha detto che praticamente quello che sicuramente andrebbe a suonare come genere piuttosto per fare un riff del genere sarebbe qualcosa sul grind
Mm,
andante. Quindi ha
interessante.
detto appunto che c'è un gruppo della zona di Chicago che fa appunto un mix tra death e grind e sono tutti quanti vestiti da Ed Gee. Quindi per farti
Interessante.
capire anche. Ok,
Ok, perfetto. Allora, l'ultima domanda è questa. L'ultima domanda per chiudere questa interessante, fighissima intervista. Veramente qui siamo andati alla follia più pura, ma questo ci piace su Calice Nero. Avere ospiti che riescono a intercettare con la nostra filosofia psicopatica. Allora, la domanda è questa. In alto alla mia destra c'è il calice nero verso Arimer. Questo è il calice nero che c'è un grigio, quindi color nebbia, va a ricordare il color nebbia, con una croce rovesciata che va a ricordare l'anticristianità. Allora, all'interno di questa bevanda, che tipo mm, di sorso uno riesce ad assorbire durante l'ascolto del Bogzilla?
so this is the closing question for the interview, and as you can see, I guess on top here, um, there's a chalice, and the English name for this channel is the Black Chalice. So let's say that you have to pour a drink into that chalice, and it has to be something that has to be enjoyed while listening to Bongzilla. What
Oh,
kind of beverage would it be?
they make marijuana beverages now in the States. So they
Okay,
literally, so I would definitely pour a nice my favorite flavor is root beer. There's a lot of soda flavors, but and then you can also get other kinds of drinks too, like little shaky things and stuff. But like when we were so there's 28 states that are legal in the U.S. now, so over half of the U.S. has legalized marijuana. The states
Okay.
like the little regions have individually legalized it. The government hasn't yet, but so when we're in those states, you can go to a dispensary, like not really a coffee shop. It's just like in Holland, but it's just marijuana, no coffee. I guess you see those more in Holland now than you used to. But anyway, so they sell these 6-packs of 100 milligram sodas, and I would definitely we'd probably have more than one, hopefully, and yeah, I'd pour a nice yeah. I think when we released our first 7-inch, we passed out 60 joints and 66 brownies. So I think we haven't had a release party on either of these records, but if we did, we should pass out. I mean, you can bond it with coffee. There's people putting marijuana in coffee. Literally in the U.S., they put marijuana in everything. You can get like a bag of Doritos that you can get high from. You can get Oreo cookies. You can get high from.
Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, those weren't. No, and the people have gotten in trouble because the packaging looked exactly the same.
Okay.
And that can, I mean, it's even for people that don't smoke like I do, to eat over 5 milligrams of pot food can cause a lot of trouble. Even the people that smoke, because it hits you really different.
Because it's direct ingestion in a way.
Well, yeah, but it your body's metabolism makes it stronger. I don't know the actual
process.
Science of it, but I do know that it makes it about 1/3 stronger than if you smoked it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just about how your body also has 2 drug receptors, or your brain has 2 drug receptors. A cannabinoid, so a THC, which is THC is a cannabinoid.
Yes,
and then you have it weirdly and kind of horribly, because modern man is very abusive. Opiates. You have an opiate receptor.
Okay.
So you have 2 drug. It's just odd. You have 2 drug receptors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay.
No, it would still. I mean, cocaine works even though you don't have a cocaine receptor. It would still work. I'm just saying, if we have a receptor in our brains for something, it seems like the universe would have us want. If we should be doing it, it would be.
Yeah.
Now, opiates you cannot abuse. I can testify to it.
Okay.
But marijuana is the only drug I've come across that the price you pay from abusing marijuana is maybe eating too much, or missing your buddy's band, or missing Bongzilla. I had tickets and I got that. I've been trying to see you 3 times. We got too high the last 2, and we passed out. I mean, that's, yeah. I pour you. Yeah.
Ok, allora praticamente ha detto che come bevanda prenderebbe, come si chiamano, le bevande gassate, tipo con principio attivo dentro. Nel senso che comunque l'erba è stata legalizzata in 28 stati degli Stati Uniti, quindi è facile anche da trovare, ad esempio, nella zona sua. Quindi è qualcosa che si riesce molto tranquillamente. Ad esempio, lui prenderebbe quella con 100 milligrammi di principio attivo, perché comunque il corpo, ha detto, la percepisce in maniera diversa, la percepisce tipo 1/3 più forte rispetto al normale, perché appunto poi c'è tutta la questione del fatto che il cervello risponde a cannabinoidi e oppiacei, solo che appunto dei cannabinoidi tu puoi consumarne quanto vuoi senza avere problemi, e c'è anche il fatto che questo non ferma, comunque al massimo ti addormenti ascoltando, ma nulla di più, non succede altro. Anche se appunto ci sono magari persone che possono avere fisicamente dei problemi consumando quella cosa, però ad esempio non sarebbe il suo caso.
C'è una domanda appunto per chiudere finalmente l'intervista. No, scherzando, veramente fantastica l'intervista. La domanda è di Giacinto. A te, una curiosità, come preferisci il bong? Ghiaccio, ice bong o senza ghiaccio?
Okay, one last quick question from Giacinto.
Giacinto.
Who's asking, how do you prefer bong? The ice bong with ice or without?
Oh, yeah. If I can cool down that smoke, I'll cool it down for sure.
Okay.
Ice bomb. There is a great New York power violence band called Disassociate that sings a song called Ice Bomb. You go to your nearest streaming service and check it out.
Okay.
Disassociate Ice Bomb is my answer.
Okay.
So
Thank you very
thanks
much.
a lot for the interview.
Oh yeah,
It's been a pleasure.
Where are you guys in Italy?
I'm from the northern side. I'm near Venice. So,
Okay.
and he is from the island. Yes.
Sardinia.
Yeah.
You're from Sardinia?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that place. Jeepers.
Ah.
I mean, your whole country is incredible. I love Italy.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And luckily, there's no.
Yeah, we're always treated very well. Yeah, at the Venice Hardcore Fest.
Yeah, I know one of the guys that works there, and is such a super cool dude.
Yeah, they're all super cool. We had to fly the next day, so I never throw out marijuana, and it was weird. We played like 3 shows, then we had to fly, but somebody had given us a bunch of pot, and on our rider we're supposed to get a half ounce every night, so we had I think about 15 grams of marijuana, but we had to fly at like 5 a.m. So at the Venice Hardcore Fest, Magma had a little jet lag, and I smoked probably 12 grams of it by myself, rolling joints. I'd roll a joint, or roll a couple joints, walk around, smoke one of them, come back, roll some more, go smoke, find people to smoke with. So I was just trying to get rid of this pot. Because I feel like if I throw it out, I'm stopping the flow of marijuana.
Of whatever it is.
It's been so good for years. I don't want to jinx it. But thanks you guys very much for listening.
Thanks a lot to you, seriously.
Everybody listening, we super appreciate it. Smoke.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And we
bye, mule boy.
Bye. Aloha.
Ok, aspetta, ok, ce la finiamo veramente.
No, intervista.
Aspetta, oggi finita la puntata, fumate senza aver fumato.
Sì, sul serio. No, però seriamente fotonico, veramente.
Cioè, noi non abbiamo parlato quasi nulla,
No, abbiamo fatto 4 domande più quella di chiusura.
Che sì, più o meno.
No, ma va benissimo così.
No, ma ci sta. Prego la traduzione, Adimar, poi.
No, niente, stava raccontando del fatto che vabbè, c'è chiesto appunto da dove veniamo e io abito vicino dove c'è stato il Venezia Hardcore.
Ok.
E ha detto che quella sera là, siccome loro da rider devono aspetta, devo farne
Ok.
non c'è
Ragazzi, veramente
ok,
intervista assurda.
allora loro da rider chiedono mezza oncia di erba, quindi parliamo di 15 grammi a sera di erba. La sera del Venezia Hardcore, la mattina dopo dovevano partire alle 5 di mattina in aereo e praticamente ha passato la serata dentro e fuori dal camerino per girarsi trombe, fumare in giro, girarsi trombe, fumare in giro, e ha detto no, non la davo via. Non la davo via perché c'è il flow della marijuana che va avanti e non vuole mandarla a puttane. Quindi non so, io
Ragazzi,
no.
quindi con questo sono appunto del Calice Nero. Se volete chiedere, chiedete, riportiamo in Bogzilla e chiedete delle informazioni perché possiamo avere tutte le informazioni che volete, se è mai successo. Ti auguro una buona serata, una buona notte e ci vediamo presto.
A presto.
Ciao Anim. Ok ragazzi, niente, questa follissima intervista chiudiamo qua. Niente, domani andremo in onda con Jason Walton e nonché del musicista degli Agalog. Domani ci sarà il debutto di Arianna, nuovo acquisto del Calice Nero, dalle 21:22 e verranno annunciate altre puntate proprio domani, puntate di novembre, fino a chiusura novembre, poi si inizia con il mese di dicembre, si sta chiudendo anche il calendario di febbraio. Ragazzi, vi auguro una buona serata, una buona notte, grazie a tutti chi ci ha supportato e chi ci ha seguito, grazie a Photo Report X, nostra buonata, insieme a Ash Death di Francesca Carica e il suo progetto Doom Metal che ha cambiato come sonorità, quindi Black Ambient alla Burzum, Weakness. Salutiamo Giampa, che è altro interessantissimo canale Facebook. Niente ragazzi, salutiamo Stefano di Disnea e salutiamo Giacinto 838 Olivelli, che è il nostro appunto uno dei nostri traduttori sul canale. Niente ragazzi, vi ricordo solamente una cosa, che sta andando in onda in questo preciso momento, anche se è iniziato alle 21:30, scusate. Allora, ve lo dico se lo trovo. Sì, Antor. Allora, c'è anche in descrizione. Seguite il canale, chiediamo noi, seguite assolutamente Mister Antor con Metal Minator, che è la trasmissione che va dall'heavy metal al rock, al metal estremo, all'EBM, all'elettronica, tutto dal dark wave, veramente tantissima roba. Quindi potete tranquillamente andare sul 102.MHz in tutta la provincia del Sud Sardegna, oppure scaricando l'app gratuita Radio Star Carbonia per appunto i dispositivi vostri Apple and Android, oppure chiamate il numero 0781 64 216 in diretta, che appunto potete fare un saluto, oppure prenotare un disco, una track per il prossimo evento appunto della radio. Potete seguirla anche sul link www.radio-italiane.it/radio-star-carbonia. Trovate tutto in descrizione. Vi auguro una buona notte, una buona serata. Ricordatevi solo una cosa, che il grande spettacolo continua, non si fermerà mai. Il sacro codice non è 000, la morte viene dal libro, e salutiamo i Bogzilla, grandissima video interview. Au revoir.